Hello, Svitlana.
Hello, Arne.
Tanking a little bit of coffee. I hope you at home are doing the same. As we can see, we have a new Svitlana Smart Moves here, and we have an interesting position on the board. What is happening?
Yeah,
Well,
so
something
it's
happened.
don't mind the position right now. It's the example that we'll do. The theme we'll be looking at today is how to convert an attack. I'm not sure about you. I think it's a very common issue that people encounter is that they know that they have a really good attack going on or that they have a nice position, but it somehow doesn't get to the end and the advantage gets lost, and then it's very painful to not win a game like that. Does it
True.
happen to you?
Of course, because I'm an attacking player, it happens to me more often than not. And I know a little bit about it because, yeah, at one point when it gets a bit too frustrating, you just do your research. So I am very, very keen on knowing some more or learning some more secrets from you. By the way, for you at home, just take a look at the description below the YouTube video. You can see this very game on the ChessBase news site and check out everything. You can download this PGN2, the position, and all of that. So you know what's going on. Okay, so let's attack.
Yeah, so this first one we are starting a bit early, before the attack gets there.
Okay.
This is a position that arose from the Ruy Lopez, something similar to the Berlin defense, because this knight on b7 is looking interesting, so it
Mm-hmm.
definitely came from d6. Um, this was a game where Emmanuel Lasker was playing with
Ooh.
black, and he showed us a very instructive game of how to both start the attack and get it to the end. So you throughout, I'll ask as usual the question of what would you do here, and we'll see how many of the attacks today you will get to convert to the end.
Well, well, well. So what? It's
No,
our
I'm
move.
just
Of
making
course,
moves. It
yes.
didn't start at a position
Sure.
where you needed to guess. I'm making moves of how we're gonna get there.
I
So the
understand.
way to actually start an attack, the good way to play in the middle game is usually to make developing moves and kind of set up the tactics, right? So tactics don't appear out of nowhere. They appear out of your pieces that are set up in a certain way and that allow you to have these opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So making every move with a threat, for example, a developing move like rook e8, but it also has this indirect threat of a discovered attack. It adds to um, black's beginning of an attack. Once again, the queen didn't move because there was no immediate um, threat, but this is how you develop your pieces in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the important principle of starting attacks is having these tactics at your disposal. So now the where we actually start our questions and training is where white makes their first mistake, which is knight e4. So this turns out to be ineffective. Which move would you say? How would you now try to take over the initiative as black?
So, of course, yeah, as you just mentioned, we are setting up the tactics, and there is one tactic due to this move appearing, which is, of course, the pin. So, if we can get our bishop on e7 to another place, then we have this pin
Mm-hmm.
of the rook and the queen. So, an idea would be to later push forward one of the pawns, but for now, I think quite interesting. It looks as if the bishop can go to f6 for a couple of reasons, if I may say. I'm not sure if I'm right, but if we go to f6 with the bishop and the white bishop takes back, we of course do not take back with the queen, but with the pawn. Now, the pawn can
Mm-hmm.
threaten to go to f5. And at one point, our king can go to h8 and the rook could go to g8.
But what happens if they capture with a knight? with a check. I feel like that might be a problem.
Oh, it's a check.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes white get rid of the pin. So it's not bishop f6, but
And
you did mention a good
yeah.
idea, which was
Oh,
to yeah, push pawns to make the spin possible.
okay. So what about, I mean, f5 is a bit, it opens our king a bit too much, maybe. So what
Yeah,
about d5?
exactly. So same idea, but a safer implementation, which is d5.
Mm-hmm.
Now white went back, which was the only place. If it doesn't
Ah.
go, if it goes to, let's say, g3, there's bishop b4, and we're picking up the exchange at the end of it. So they went to d2. What is now the best discovered attack?
So maybe now the bishop to f6 is the move to play.
If that happens, they can actually capture it and also have an attack on your queen.
Yeah, and I thought I can take back and that would give me advantage, but of course the white queen can just move somewhere else. Okay,
Yeah.
that is stupid. By the way, if you click on, also for you at home, might be interesting if you are playing and you want to discover the moves on your own. If you click on the upper analysis, on the tab analysis,
Okay.
and then there is a little what is it called? There is assisted analysis on the far right side. And if you take away the check mark, even further right, if you take away the check mark, then the moves aren't shown on the board. So there's no color. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I discovered this quite recently, and now everybody knows it, and that's really cool.
I've been enjoying. I've been enjoying the little green squares that
I know.
lit
You
up.
can always put it on again after that, but yeah, I think it got mentioned one or two times that it is nicer if you touch a piece and
Okay.
then they want to try to analyze it for themselves. So
Sure,
it's
sure. I didn't. I keep I forget that it shows.
no, me too. But now I just realized it. Like, okay, then I know it's bishop to d6,
It
for
gave you.
example.
Oh, it's not. It was not bishop to d6.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh
No.
no. Gee.
So assisted analysis
Okay.
was
What
assisted.
about bishop a3 then?
Exactly. Bishop a3.
Finally.
So this is the best discovered attack, but white does have a defense against it. So it looks like we're just winning a piece, but that's not true. So there is a defense for white. Do you want to try to find it? It has two parts. First, you need to save the bishop, and
Ooh,
then you counterattack. There is
okay.
two moves that actually manage to save one of the pieces.
That is interesting. Oh, what about queen going to a6?
You got the second part of it. So
Yeah,
right
it
now,
must
queen
be.
a6 doesn't work. So first we save the bishop.
Okay,
We want
bishop
to.
e5. Funny.
Exactly. Bishop e5. f6
And
is the
now
way
the.
to attack it.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
found it. So good. You managed to avoid the loss of the piece. And this is exactly what happened in the game. And just a reminder, Emmanuel Lasker is playing as black, so he was a very strong player. And from here on, we see how his attack started. He did not play d4. He took the piece. The opponent took on a3.
Yeah.
And seemingly in a few moves, suddenly it's black who has the advantage and has the attack. So I think around these moments when the attack is about to start, when you know the opponent didn't play in the best way, what kind of mindset do you usually have when you know the opponent didn't play their best and that you have a better position? Do you ever make mistakes in those moments, or are you usually pretty good at keeping your advantage and converting it?
No, of course not. As we already also had in one of our very beautiful, very popular lessons to how to convert a winning position into a winning position,
I
because
think that was our first
one of
lesson.
our very, very, very first lessons,
It's
yes.
one of my favorite topics because
Yes.
I don't know how to do it. So it always happens in my games, and I know it's a very, very common problem. So it's one of my favorite topics.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's wildly popular because everybody has experiences the same. It is so difficult to convert a winning position. When we're talking about
Yeah.
a winning position, then we also often have the idea of like the computer says it's +1 or +2, but out of a sudden you have to face 3 pawns which are like pulling in your
Yeah.
direction, and you go like, but how? Like it's crazy sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes even one move can somehow just give away
Yeah.
the whole
Yes.
attack.
And this is another
So,
thing of the computer which says like, okay, this is winning. If you play 5 correct moves, like perfect moves in a row, then it's winning.
right.
In any other
Right.
case, no.
Yeah, so it does happen, and it's good to be precise and always put problems for the opponent. So
Yeah.
whenever you know that you're on the offensive and you have more initiative and better placed pieces, what you need to do, usually the advice that I give, is to make every move an attacking move. So try to make a generally useful move, of course, like some um attack, like that you're just attacking the queen every move, like the opponent will see it. But what I mean is making useful moves that are developing at the same time and that are attacking at the same time,
Yeah.
which is really well shown by Lasker here. First, he plays queen f6, develops the queen, and attacks the knight. The knight gets defended, now rook f8. So we're not giving an opponent a break to bring back his queen, to develop the rest of his pieces. You just always make a different attack work. The opponent plays f3, and from here on, you can already see that black has the attack, but would you be able to convert it? What would you play here for black?
So, okay, let's make another move, which is attacking something. Queen
Sure.
g5.
Exactly. You found it. That's a really good move and a really good way to continue the attack. First, the knight is hanging, and also our queen is really useful on the g file, and it just makes the attack stronger. Now, white plays queen c1, bringing back the queen, defending the knight, and now maybe the knight can move and offer a queen trade at some point. So
Yeah.
here, I think it's the most difficult moment where I think most people could have like ruined this really nice attack, because it's not easy to continue it after you seemingly improved like everything you can. So here
Yes.
only one move leads to a huge winning advantage. Try to find it, and if you can't, I'll give you a hint.
So I have two things to say to this. So first of all, I believe that the kind of obvious move, bishop h3, is a patzer or a mistake. For the reason that actually, what am I saying? It is not working what I was just saying. Because I thought like I can just take on e4 with the knight, but then, well,
There is
white is
mate.
checkmated, yeah. So
Yeah, so bishop h3 is actually not the move. And I'm pretty sure there's a refutation to it. For example, what was your idea after, for example,
exactly,
g3?
well, that won't work, yeah, because of g3. This is not working.
Maybe not even g3. Rook e2 also exists. I don't know which one is the correct defense, but the thing is, like, bishop h3 didn't like
Yeah,
we didn't.
it's not working.
It's a very like one move attack, that
Yes.
doesn't do anything more, and the opponent will see the mate in one. Sometimes it's useful to make such attacks, sometimes not, but the theme is to include all the pieces in the attack.
That is the next thing which I wanted to say. So I would take my little horse, which is far away, and put it to c5 because it just looks
Exactly.
perfect there.
Exactly. That's the correct move, and that's the only move that gives a huge advantage to
Nice.
black. And that's why I said it's a difficult moment, because you kind of think that your knight is not participating, so you should focus on, I don't know, a rook lift or this mate threat. You tend to forget about all the pieces, but the more pieces you have, that's one of the main principles of being a good attacking player, is to include all the pieces and preferably do every move with a threat. So this knight joins really well to d3, right? So white played a few more moves. Where's the knight going next? Kind of gave it away.
Well, I mean, if it's on d3, then yeah. It might
First
even
d3. And then where do we want?
Oh, it's f4, right?
It is f4. So the knight from b7 suddenly is on f4, and it is a star of black's position.
Truly.
Now, knight went to g3. Now there's a lot of good moves. But Lasker plays h5, which is very typical. Also
Yeah.
an important move to remember for an attack.
The caveman attack.
It's it's a move we see all the time whenever the knight is either on g3 or on g6. Like, you always try to kick it off with this pawn because it's impossible to stop.
Now it is, because this pawn on f3 is not on f2, where it would at least like help the knight.
Now
So you could
I have
play
the next,
f4.
probably the other defining moment of the game, which is to finally get the tactics to work.
All right.
Because we've improved, and now it looks like the time to strike, which is already a good, like, I'm already giving a big hint, because in the actual game, you never know when it is the right moment to strike and to find a combination, which is what makes this whole converting an attack topic so hard. So what would you play here as black? Do you see a way to finish it off tactically?
Couple of ways, but I'm not seeing anything which is absolutely convincing yet. So I will tell you what I would have played, but I'm not sure if it's the best move. It would be just keep on moving h5 to h4, because I just have the feeling it's not working, because after taking on f4 and taking back, the attack is gone.
It's
still there, but it is like there might be something better.
It might die out a little,
it's
I
not so
agree.
good. Well, I mean, I could take on f3 with the rook now, though. And I would probably still have a better position, but it's not convincing enough.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So then...
Oh, it looks good. It looks... hold on.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty important line. This?
Yes.
Yeah, it does look pretty good. The only defense I see is that. Is that enough?
Yes, it is enough. I mean, the queen has to go to g4, I guess. Then the queen takes, we take back, and then g5.
You're making it hard for me without the assisted analysis, actually, I must say.
That's great.
But I'll actually check the engine too, so that it's not just me saying all the wrong moves. I'm just finding wins for black everywhere. Yeah.
But there must be something better.
Your h4 idea is nice, but there is something like completely forcing.
Okay, so what about our knight going to h3 with a check? Because the king cannot go to h1, that would be a queen win. And if the king goes to f1, I have the feeling this will fall apart. f3 has too much pressure, maybe.
So what about just taking it?
Then I would push h4.
And then we're just making a trade, though, right? It's just a trade knight for knight, and there's no checkmates.
Okay, wait, then I will take on f3 before.
You want to take?
Yeah.
So what happens if I actually play something like... Okay, so my knight has to go. I assume
d4 might be the only spot.
Okay. Yeah, okay. f2?
Yeah, f2. King goes to h1, and now we take on h3. I mean, it's a long variation. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's looking very risky, but...
I think the queen can just take on h5 now, right?
No, it can't, but it can't, though.
Oh, no, it cannot. True.
It can't do that.
Nice.
But something was looking wrong to me with this one. Something is looking wrong, and it's not taking on... It's not taking here. What if I play, let's say, rook f3?
Then I would go to g4 with my bishop.
Bishop? No, but g4 I'll take.
I'll take back.
queen. I mean, I'm running out of queen moves actually, to be honest, but
So now I just want to get rid of
this
the
is,
knight
you
on
notice this is how
d4.
all of our blitz games go, is like, is
That's
that
true.
you start an attack and then I try to defend against it. So this is actually not working. I agree that this is not working.
That's funny. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like, the thing is, this is, I
But
feel
it's
like there's
also
something
not
wrong.
so. Yeah, there might be something wrong.
No, there must be something wrong, and I feel it. And this is normally how I also play during the game. I don't know exactly what's wrong with it, but something is wrong.
You know what is the real
Or
problem
we can
about all of
maybe
this?
here.
The biggest problem about all of this is that often enough I'm lucky with my very amateur attacking because like there's time trouble or something else, and then I'm feeling like, all right, I'm a great attacker. That's fantastic. Let's go. Oh boy. Yeah, this is how my attacks look like, so you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to fear anything if you ever play against
No,
me. I'm
no,
sorry.
I'm scared of your attacks sometimes.
Thank you. That makes me feel a bit better, more comfy. Okay, anyway, so but we can check this after with the
Okay,
engine. That would be a good
sure,
idea. Or you can put on the assisted
sure.
analysis. It doesn't
No,
matter.
no, it's fine. I'm sure that taking is the right way.
Yeah.
And actually, from like, it seems like it, like, this could also like be a good way to keep an advantage. I don't think it's
Maybe.
as winning as the actual line.
Maybe I'm just missing something. Could be.
You're winning. You're good. You're good. It's still winning. You found one of the wins.
Thank you. I
I
feel
just, I didn't even look
fantastic.
at knight h3 because the
It's so
line is pretty
crazy.
similar. No, the line is pretty similar. That's why. Like,
Oh,
because
okay.
the winning line is really similar to that.
Okay.
But it's also winning.
Okay, okay, okay. So you have to show me the winning line now. I don't know.
Okay, it's knight g2. Like, super similar idea. I'm gonna turn off the
Oh
analysis because
yeah.
it is bothering.
Oh. Yeah, that is
And
similar. True.
like, it's
I'm just not
actually,
getting a pawn kind of like this.
no, it's actually the same. Like, it's super similar ideas to what you've
Yeah.
said. So whoever said knight h3 and knight g2, they're both working. I thought there was something wrong with knight h3 because it looked like a less forcing version of what we have here, but it actually is the same. So both of them are right.
Feel fantastic. Okay, good.
Yeah. So you would have finished this attack, which is good for you, and you would not have
That's
let go the
very
advantage.
beautiful because now if the king takes, we go to g4.
Exactly. That's how the game went.
Wow.
And black won after queen e3.
Game over.
Yeah, and king g2 would be punished with a nice mate
Yeah,
h3.
beautiful.
So yeah, it was the kind of attack where there wasn't just one just one move that leads there, but there is this like, everything else is just less strong other than knight g2 or knight h3. So you picked like, one of them is +5, the other one is +3. So they're both winning. The one that you said is +3. So you
Okay.
did good. You didn't mess up this attack, so you would have won it. So
Yeah,
you're
but the lesson is like, yeah, it is this motive, the same motive, like getting the opening up the file with either taking on G or giving a check on G if they take back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then it's
yeah,
open as
and
well.
and the point is to see if you would convert this attack. And this one was good first example. So next example is a bit shorter because I'm not giving any pre-game, like, I'm not giving how we got to this position,
Okay.
and it is my favorite, Garry Kasparov scoring a nice attacking win.
Oh.
So after queen d7, you see that the knight is being dangerous on h5. White is having more space. So how would you continue the attack here? So this time around, there's only one good move, I think. like the one that keeps the attack going.
Yeah, it looks very, very interesting. So there's a lot of moves, of course. Yeah, and for you at home, you can also stop the video and think for yourself a little bit. But
Yeah.
so I just want to, I mean, I just want to try to get my knight on f6 somehow. At the moment, it's not working.
Okay.
There's too many pieces there. And if the pawn is on f6, then it might also be, yeah, that is working. Because those knights, they are kind of blockaded by themselves. So what about the crazy move bishop h6, for example?
You found it so easily. I actually thought it was like more difficult than that, but bishop h6 is the move.
Nice.
So this is the one of the also important attacking principles, which is attacking the weakest square. Is sometimes the opponent's position has, let's say, like a problem on the dark squares, or it has like a weak g7 pawn, or weak f7 pawn is very common. And when that is the main weakness, you want to put all of your forces to attacking that target, and it usually is the best way to go. So here bishop h6 is nice.
And it's I think it's only working because of this queen move to d7, because the knight on f8 cannot move outside and there's nothing to defend. It's so crazy.
No, but tell me the next move, because bishop h6 is not the only
it's not the yeah. So I have two moves on my mind. One is queen to, let's say, d2 to try to get the pawn on h6. Just has to be shown if it's enough time to make this happen. I mean, we just sacrificed a piece. And the other move would be, this is a bit quicker, to go to f6 with a check.
One of your moves is correct.
Yeah, I don't think it is the knight move, because it looks more as if you can snatch the pawn on f6 away or hide on time.
Yeah. So so this one, although it looks quicker, but we're actually trading one of our attacking pieces. And so queen d2 is actually better, which I think is the harder move of the combination to find, because it's a quiet move.
Yeah, it is, yes. Yeah, but it has to be done like that, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is for this knight to stay here and for the mate threat that's coming soon.
Exactly, yeah.
So...
And now this crazy idea is like, yeah, so if it would have been a defender, if the queen wouldn't be on d7, the knight on f8 could have gone to d7, and then the bishop could have gone to f8, for example, and it's not even working. That's also not working, because the knight will go to f6. No, I'm wrong.
But the knight on d7 protects.
Oh yes, true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Whenever you're attacking, what I actually find myself doing during the game a lot is that I think, oh, what would have happened if I played it a move earlier or something?
Yeah.
But during the game, it actually doesn't matter. And like, that's how people lose a lot of their time, is like, oh, maybe this idea was even better, like a move before or two moves before. Why didn't I like provoke that instead?
And you spend time thinking of that.
That's like, lately I just think about the position. Whatever mistake you made, you can't bring it back. So yeah, queen d2 is good, and that's one of the harder moves because it's a quiet move. So now black defends with f5, and
I think we keep this thread. That's good. It's very interesting. No, now it's getting a bit more complicated. That is a good move, I think.
Well, that's just the process of carrying on the attack, which is the...
So what happens if we just take en passant? Because I think this is quite cool.
That is good, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. The trick was not to take on h6, because bishop d8 and black is pretty much safe, right?
Annoying.
So e takes f6.
Because in the worst case, if the bishop takes, then we just win a queen.
And also the good thing is that we at least got back one pawn, which doesn't change anything, but it's nice. It's nice to have not like completely down a piece, but we have 2 pawns for it, which is a really good, which just makes us feel better. Now, what is coming next?
Mm,
Remember the main attacking principles.
yeah.
Which one of them do
So
you want
let's
to
get
use?
our other pieces in. Rook e5 must be it.
Rook e5.
Oh, it's not it. Damn.
No, I mean it looks interesting. I didn't even see that. Oh, rook went not in the right place. Rook e5. I was not thinking about that for
It's
sure.
not. I don't. I might be wrong because I thought like I can go to g5, but there's too much defenders there. And then
Right, right. Like
with the knight to e5. Well, it is
rook.
interesting.
No. Rook g5 like doesn't have a threat yet, but you did mention knight e5. But I
Yeah.
can defend it with.
So
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Rook
exactly.
g5 is interesting, but like you can just be faster
I think
actually.
I can actually play the knight immediately because that will take away the knight on g6.
Or you can also play the knight to g5 with the exact same idea and no worries about it being taken.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
That's
I
what
thought
happened in
about
the
it,
game.
but I thought it won't work. Damn it. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's the same idea that you wanted to implement,
yeah.
the one on of the f7 square, because if our pawn gets to f7,
Oh,
it's
pity. Yeah,
very good.
why don't I go to the other side? I only thought about
Exactly.
e5 for some reason.
And the principle is just bringing another piece into the attack. The more
True.
pieces, the better. In the game, black was already um, giving away the material back because there was nothing better to do and got checkmated on
That's
g7.
checkmate, yeah.
And yeah, so this one was more of a tactical exercise, which is usually what tends to be the key in these attacking positions. Is I think even personally, whenever I don't convert an attack, I think it's a problem of tactics that you miss something somewhere and it just
Uh-huh.
ends up it just ends up being a problem of not calculating deep enough somewhere. So this next one is a very similar like setup, kind
Mm-hmm.
of. You know how the king is weak, the queen is there on h6, which is very very common, and I think that's what people get a lot in okay from out of any opening you can get it, and that's like the typical aggressive queen setup next to the king.
Yeah.
But it is going to be yet another tactical exercise here. So how about this? I will give you this position right now. The first move I think is rather easy, but the main tactic comes right after.
Well, I guess we have to go to g5 with the knight.
Exactly. Exactly. Knight g5, this is how we're setting up the tactics to even
Yeah.
exist in the first place. We need more than one piece attacking, and the
As
knight queen is a good combination.
sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but
I
as
know.
black, I think I would have played something else than king h8 because I was looking at knight going to g4, which probably causes more problems in my opinion.
No, actually, exactly. I think king h8 was a mistake from
Ah,
the
okay,
black
good.
side. So you're exactly right. Knight g4 looks way better.
Yeah.
So knight g5 and queen e8. So
Mm-hmm.
they are trying to defend the f7 square so that they can play rook g8 and rook g6. So now this is the real test. Would you finish this attack?
Well, it's time for your favorite move, in my opinion. I think I would try the rook lift, and
Ah, I really like that
I
too.
would go to f4 because f3 is not working, of course.
Why
Now
is f3
there's still
working?
this threat
So
of the knight going to g4, so I guess I would just take with the rook.
wait, but why is f4 so much better than f3? What's the difference?
Well, you can just take on e4, I guess.
No, but you can't take on e4. Do you see why?
Yes, I see why. So f3 is
So
actually better. If we, yeah, just for you at home, if you didn't see it, we can of course take the knight, and then it's checkmate.
yeah,
That's what I
so
didn't think of.
that's not an issue. The issue with the rook lift is rook g8.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Rook h3 is the idea, right?
Yeah.
Rook g7, and
Annoying.
we ran out of fuel here to continue the attack.
Not good. Okay, good.
And
Yeah.
that's exactly how these positions can get into the direction we don't want it to get.
Yes.
So rook h3 is the mistake. Rook f3 was fine. It gave away the winning plan, but it was still slightly better for white. But this one is actually, I think, lost for white. because you're gonna lose something here in the center, and everything's perfectly defended. And b2 is like, whenever the attack runs out, there's so many other problems that you have like sacrificed to start your attack, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it gets turned around. So it's not rook f3.
Okay,
To
good
think
to
of something
know.
different. It's a really nice tactical idea.
Okay. Aha. So, okay, now I have a tactical idea. Because
Okay.
we already have found out that if we get rid of the knight on f6, we can checkmate. And the rook won't be quick enough. It has to make 2 moves to g8 and to g7 to defend. So what if we simply go to e5 with our pawn?
Good. Yep. So this is how calculating a different variation can give you an idea for the next one. Exactly. So this is a really good start. D takes e5. And what was your next
And
idea?
now this beautiful move, knight to e4.
Exactly. So very often, the way to convert
That's
these
cool.
attacks is to bring pieces from the complete other side. And here we're using a tactical idea for our advantage. Is once you realize that this knight is gone, all you have to do is to get rid of it by any means. And so we sacrifice a pawn and a knight to get rid of it, and that makes it impossible to defend. So this one is a topic of, removing the defender, which is how most attacks get to their end.
Yeah, and
So
the worst part is that black now has 3 double pawns after this move.
oh yeah, this this actually is funny.
Terrible,
It's not
terrible.
something you see often. So yeah, that was basically just it was a forced tactic, but it was a bit unusual to see so many
True.
sacrifices, and it was a really nice idea, which good job for finding it. So far, it seems to
Thank
me
you.
that you lied a bit and you actually know how to convert attacks.
Maybe. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, I think I could have done it a bit
So
better.
maybe actually your problem, which is what like is a problem for a lot of people, is that you don't know that it's the right moment. So when you actually get told that this is the moment, look for the best continuation, that's when you like the tactic. So your tactical vision is good, but it might be the fact that during a game you don't know that it's the right moment and you doubt yourself.
That could be. One more example. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could have more, but I think this is probably the
this
best
this is going to be fine if we try to win this one here.
Sure. Okay, so here's our next position. We're playing as white. So we see that definitely white is the one having the attack, but how do we get there to the end?
How do we get there? All right. So, of course, we have a couple of motives here. We see the good old get the queen to the h file and try to checkmate, but there's the bishop, there's the queen.
Exactly. This is like, I find these really annoying, that it's not working because we actually have no threat if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like queen h7 doesn't checkmate, and I hate when that happens because it looks so close,
Tell
but
me
this
about it.
Fianchettoed bishop is always a strong defender. So
Absolutely,
there's actually no mate.
Yeah. Horrible. What a horrible position you have chosen, Svitlana.
Yeah.
Goody. So we have to find something else. Now, what can be cooler? So, what could we I don't see much yet. So, okay, now I have an idea. So the annoying piece is the bishop. So how about we try to get rid of this bishop by moving our rook to h7?
Okay, this is also interesting, but the thing is, if we get rid of the bishop, then how are we going to checkmate?
Yeah, it's not working because we cannot even shift our queen to h4 because then the rook will go to h8.
Yeah, so rook h7 is a good attacking move, but it's not getting us to
Good. Then we
Plus
have
G1.
to do it a bit different, I guess.
Remember one of the principles that I've been talking about in every single
Get all pieces involved.
position? Exactly. So which piece is not involved?
Well, it's the last rook on d1. So
Mm-hmm.
an idea could really be to, I don't know. I mean, it's weird.
You're pretty much there.
Oh, is it that? No, this cannot be it. Sorry, I have to think for a second. I wonder if d6 is working. Rook takes d6, but it doesn't. It doesn't help
It's
anything.
too much to sacrifice.
But then there's the silent move king to g2. Also not working.
No, I actually this might actually be what I would have played in a game. Like
Yeah.
King G2 looks very natural. Like I like the move, but the way to activate this rook, you were so close when you said it, and it's like more simple than you're making it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why am I not finding this?
We need to include the last rook into the attack. What is Black's weakness?
Well, then there's only d3, rook d3.
Yeah. And
the only move.
The reason for that is just the f7 square is our other main weakness. And that's exactly where the rook is going.
Oh, because they play d5. Well, I'm looking at f6 and I'm like, and now?
Your concern was f6?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now look at how these pawns
very beautiful, yes.
So what about knight e4?
Well, then I don't know. We play e5 maybe.
E5?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now I wonder. Okay, I'm actually tempted to stop the attack and play queen d2, but
that's
that
okay.
might be
yeah,
a bit of a positional idea.
And then bishop f8 maybe.
Yeah, you're gonna continue being annoying, and
now d5.
5 you can take it. No, c5 you can take. I was thinking about getting my knight there.
Yeah.
Rook f3. Yeah, not. I'm actually not convinced after f6, but there must be something else.
Yeah. Well, okay, there is something else a little bit. So what I was looking at after f6 is queen h4. If takes, queen h7, and then rook
that's
to
what
f3.
that's what I'm calculating right now. Yeah.
Would be nicer though if the queen could go to h3 first, maybe, but yeah.
You want, what do you mean queen h3?
Queen h3, so
yeah.
we can get the rook to f3 after that. Because now the queen will just escape.
No, but
the king will just escape. Oh.
No.
Maybe not. Well, but what if the king is going to f8?
That's a good point.
Oh. And yeah. King. Oh, that is awesome. Oh no, it's not working.
So what is not working? Queen h4 is...
f6 is not working.
Yeah, so like I mean, I feel like we found it.
Yeah, it feels like we found it.
And the difference now with queen h4 is that g6 is a weak square that we're going to take that pawn whenever the queen gets there, and also the rook is joining from f3, which is really important in all of these variations. So I think we refuted f6. We can obviously once the article gets like published, like we'll always have these positions with like full analysis that is confirmed and that is not just our guesses.
Okay.
But I think we found it. I'm not sure. I think we did.
I think so too. Yes, looks good to me.
So in the game they played d5 instead to try to create counterplay of their own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another defense that we didn't talk about is bishop f6 actually.
Well, that should just go here. Oh yeah, that also works, right?
I was thinking about queen h4.
Yeah. Cannot be
Um,
taken.
yeah, cannot be taken because of the queen h7, queen
Yeah.
h8 mate, and then rook f3.
Yes.
I think this is winning.
Yeah, this is winning. This is pretty clear.
Let me just convince myself. Oh, okay, I see. Rook h6 and rook g6
Wow.
and knight threats. I am pretty sure this is it.
That is cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, this is already some the ideas that are way too far into the lines. So black might look all right here, right? But it's but with such a pawn structure and such a king, it's actually not gonna work out. So do you
Rook
think you would be able to win this
e3.
position?
Yeah, rook e3, and I don't even see
e5.
e5. Yeah,
Like if
that's
rook,
what I didn't see.
yeah.
Is that really working? Queen h4 and then
Queen h4 is a good start. I think I like that. King f8. Now you solve the next tactics. So from now, I'm gonna just be defending from black side, and you see if you can carry out this attack. Because even these
okay.
attacks is possible to mess up. We're getting to the...
Okay, let's think for a second again, shall we? So there's a check, there's a check. I mean, we just get the queen, we just go here. Ooh, so
what do we need to get this attack to the end? I think we need our f3 rook to actually be useful.
yeah, this is what I'm thinking too. So I would move it to e3 now.
You keep wanting to play rook e3, but I don't really think I'm convinced by that idea because of the constant e5.
Okay. But yeah, that's true.
And unfortunately, we don't have any funky queen h8s, which look nice at
It
first.
looks very nice, yes.
But the thing is, we sacrifice too much material for this, and I don't think these ideas are working.
No.
So there is, I think, a different way to get it opened up.
Okay, g4.
Exactly. So this is good. You are bringing the attack to the end.
Yes.
With g4, that's good. Now our idea was to take, right? So it's a bit more open, but can we open it to the very end?
Yes, we have to. So when oh, there's also a check on d1, annoying.
That's true. But actually, just so you know, we don't mind the trade of that rook because it's not giving us.
Not necessarily, okay.
Like if our rook and knight and queen can be successful, it's enough. So it's the exact same idea as g4, but...
Well, can we just, I mean, can we take, that's, no, it's not working. Oh, gosh, I was almost getting checkmated from black instead of checkmating myself here.
So, same idea as g4.
Okay, so then it's e4.
Exactly.
My
because
gosh, that's
we're always attacking the weak square and something that's preventing us from checkmate.
Okay.
And that's one of the main...
Yes, I think this is a very, very good lesson because, first of all, I cannot really solve this right now because normally I'm a bit too quick with my attack. And I cannot
this one is more complicated.
Yeah, but I mean, that makes so much sense to go on the weak spot and then just,
Yeah, I mean, even the point today is more, like, some of these variations are actually, like, difficult. And even, like, the players who actually played these games, I'm sure did not see, like, all of these, but it's more about even the mindset behind because you're never gonna get the exact same positions. You might get the same like similar motives
Yeah.
with your tactics, you're never going to get the same position. So actually what I wanted to emphasize more is what to look for, such as including all pieces, attacking the weakest square, and like these, to have these general rules come together
Hmm.
and so that you can use them in your games to do when you're confused why your attack is not working and what you're doing wrong, and um, why do you keep letting go of all the attacks, because
Yeah.
it happens to everyone. So I think knowing these general principles, although it will not solve the tactics for you, but it will help you guide your calculations in the right way.
Very good. Yeah.
And what I tell to all of my students, even who are beginners, is to look at checks, captures, and threats.
Yes.
First, all the checks, because they're the most forcing, then all the captures,
And then the threats.
and then the threats. So if none of them are working, then you move on to the threats. But definitely the first things to
There's a fourth rule I sometimes implement.
yeah.
If either the checks, the captures, and the threats aren't working, and you still are not convinced that it's just not working at all, then you have to think about going totally mental and crazy, and think about moves which are so far off that they normally don't make sense. And even if that doesn't work, then you can call the attack off. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what happens? Yeah.
that's how that was the winning line. In the game, white played something different, but rook d3 was pretty sure.
Bishop f6 doesn't help because the queen will go to h6, right?
That, yeah, it will. It can. Bishop f6. This,
No,
though?
we're just giving a check, yeah.
This, and then this.
Very nice.
Is it over? No, it's like this is the most annoying thing.
No,
ever.
no, it's checkmate.
Oh, queen. Yeah.
It's not checkmate.
No, it's not checkmate, but it's like so close, but so.
King f4.
This is I get so annoyed during these positions because it's like you're supposed to
Yeah.
be dead so long ago, but why are you not? Okay, bishop f6. This is our tactic.
We just have to adjust one move, I think. So it's yeah, let's just go with the queen to h6.
But king somewhere. But that's not gonna.
Doesn't even matter. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And
So
now,
we're just
yes.
Yeah. So that's good. In the game ended in a few other moves, where it was just a different idea.
Oh.
With not any less nice finish.
That's nice.
With rook h8. So, yeah, that was the attack. As I said, most of these are really complicated, and you're not gonna see these it's never gonna be exactly the same in your games, but just remember the general guidelines. I think what usually helps me, even some of the examples today, I like Jacob Agard's books on like all these different topics. He has good books on attacking play, and like he wrote the whole, do you know about Grandmaster Preparation series?
Yes, I heard about this recently.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good series. Like it's complicated. Like honestly, when I was solving it, I solved it a few years ago, and like my success rate was probably like less than 50% or like 50%. But it's something that if you're looking to fix a specific part of your game, he has positional play, attacking play, like endgame play, and all of that. So I would recommend that. And that's where I went when I found that problem.
Nice. Svitlana, thank you so much for teaching us how to attack. These were some really smart moves. I hope you at home learned something too, or could take away one or two ideas from this lesson. I certainly did. We see each other soon enough. Bye-bye.